welcome back to 5-Minute Fridays. I am just about to start my 5-minute workout for today. I'm going to be doing 2 versions of the workout. We will start with a beginner / impact-free version of the workout, and then I'll do a more advanced version of the workout with weights. So there are timestamps in the description box down below the video. If you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the beginner workout or skip straight ahead to the more advanced version of the workout, please just use the chapter markers to navigate to whatever portion of the video is relevant to you. If you would like to see the exercises briefly demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into that right now. There are really just 2 exercises. So let's start with our beginner version of the workout. For the beginner version of the workout, you do not need any exercise equipment whatsoever. This is going to be a body weight workout. We're also keeping it impact free, but you will be more comfortable with something soft beneath you for your push-ups. Now, if you want to eliminate the push-ups, you have that option. So if you're not planning on doing push-ups, then you will not need even a mat, an exercise mat or a yoga mat or anything. But if you plan on including the push-ups, and if you do push-ups from your knees, then you're going to want to grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel may suffice. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you probably won't need anything at all. So our first exercise is just going to be marching in place. So it's like high knees, but without jumping. So all it means is that you're going to just drive your knees up one at a time towards your chest as high as you can. And as you do that, I would like you, if you can, to just add a little oblique twist. So you're twisting your body thoracically. So as you drive one knee up towards your chest, you're twisting your body thoracically and bringing the opposite elbow to meet that knee. If you can't actually touch your elbow to your knee, that's fine. Just get as close as you can. Remember, please, to work to your own level. Do not push your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do, but that's what you're going for. You're bringing that elbow at least towards the knee, even if you can't make them actually touch. All right, so then as you drive the opposite knee up towards your chest, you're twisting your body thoracically in the other direction, bringing the opposite elbow to meet that knee. All right, so just marching in place, and that's it. Super simple exercise. If you're an ultra super duper day one beginner and you struggle with balance, you can always hold on to something for support and just eliminate the twist. So you can just work on marching in place like this, really driving those knees up as high as you can. If you do not need to keep it impact free, you can do high knees. That's going to increase the difficulty a little bit. It's definitely going to increase the intensity. So to do high knees, you're basically just jogging in place, but with each step, you're driving your knee up as high as you can towards your chest. So it's essentially the same exercise, but high impact instead of low impact or no impact, all right? So high knees just looks like this. So you have that option as well if you would like to increase the difficulty or just get your heart rate up a little more. But that's our first exercise for our beginner version of the workout. The second exercise is just going to be a burpee. So any burpee variation you want to do is fine, whether you're doing the beginner version of the workout or the advanced version of the workout. Any burpee variation with or without a push-up, with or without weight is fine. There are millions of different burpee variations, so just choose whatever one works for you. But as I'm doing the beginner version of the workout with you, this is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to begin by just standing in the middle of my mat. I'm going to bend down and place my hands flat on the mat in front of me. Now I'm going to step my feet back one at a time so that I'm in a plank position. Now I'm going to place my knees down for a push-up. Come back up into my plank position, step the feet back in one at a time, and stand. All right, and then I'm going to add a little calf raise. So if you're able to do that, lift up your heels with control, reach up, place the heels back down with control. If you don't want to include the calf raise, you don't have to. If you want to make it a little more difficult and you don't need to keep it a no impact, you can add a little jump. That's up to you. Again, any burpee variation you want to do is fine. If you don't want to include the push-up, then you can eliminate it. Just bend down, place your hands flat on the ground in front of you, flat on the mat. Step your feet out one at a time, and then step them right back in. And then you can stand, maybe do a calf raise if you want, add a jump if you want. If you don't need to keep it no impact and you're a little more advanced, instead of stepping your feet out one at a time, you can jump them out and then jump them back in, stand and jump. If you need to do the push-up from your knees, of course you'll place your knees down, but if you're strong enough to do the push-up from your toes and you want to do the push-up from your toes, you can step the feet out, do a push-up from your toes, any push-up variation you want, jump or step the feet back in, stand, calf raise, jump up. You get the idea. Just make sure that if you are going to be including a push-up with your burpee, that you're minding your form on the push-up. So remember, head in line with the spine. If you imagine you're standing with your back up against the wall and just gently pressing the back of your head into the wall, that's where you want your head to be, perfectly up and down in line with your spine. Remember, shoulders away from the ears. So if you find that you're kind of sinking down into your shoulders like this, you want to press the ground away from you, push yourself up nice and high in that plank pose so that your shoulders are away from your ears, and remember to keep your back flat. So do not allow your hips or your belly to droop down towards the mat at any time. Tighten up those ab muscles, use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them lifted high. And then make sure that once you have found this beautifully, perfectly straight line from your heels all the way to your shoulders, or if you are doing knee push-ups, your straight line is going to be from your knees to your shoulders. But once your body is in this perfectly straight line, make sure nothing moves. So you're bending your elbows, you're lowering your chest as close to the mat as you can without breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders, and then pressing yourself back up. All right, so really spread out all 10 fingers, place your hands directly underneath your shoulders, and now coming up into your plank pose. If you're doing knee push-ups, you're just putting your knees down right where they are. This is your starting position. If you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat without breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders, make sure you're not compensating by lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat. All right, that's causing an arch in my back. Remember, we want to keep our back flat. So make sure that you are not compensating by lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat. Also make sure you're not compensating by lowering your forehead down to the mat. Remember, head in line with the spine, and make sure your head stays in line with your spine. So keep your head still. Don't let your head bob up and down while you're doing your push-ups. If you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, that's fine. Just shorten up your range of motion. Get your chest as close as you can to the mat without breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders, or from your heels to your shoulders if you're doing the push-ups from your toes. And then as soon as you've gotten your chest as close as you can to the mat, you'll press the mat away from you, push yourself back up, and that's your push-up, okay? So just remember, head in line with the spine, shoulders away from the ears, flat back. So make sure your abs are super strong and tight and engaged the whole time, like someone's about to come along and punch you in the stomach as hard as they can, and you're bracing for that impact. So really tighten up your abs and use your ab muscles to keep your hips lifted nice and high. All right, but that's it. That's our 2 exercises for our beginner version of the workout. So you can mix and match those elements of the burpees. Like I said, any burpee variation you want to do is fine. For our more advanced version of the workout, I'm going to be using a set of hex dumbbells. I am mentioning the fact that these are hex dumbbells because that is significant. Hex dumbbells means that they're shaped like a hexagon here on the end, and that means that my dumbbells are flat on the bottom. So I'm going to be holding on to my dumbbells while I'm in a plank position. I'm going to be doing push-ups on the dumbbells. I'm going to be doing plank rows. So that means that all of my weight is going to be on my dumbbells. If your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, then I'm going to suggest that you modify this exercise, and I will of course explain to you how to do that. But I know that there are plenty of people who will do push-ups on rounded dumbbells, and that's up to you. It's up to you to decide what level of risk you're comfortable taking, but for the record, I would prefer that you modify the second exercise. That's going to be espressos, and I will show you that modification in just a minute. The other thing that I will tell you about my dumbbells is that these are 10-pound dumbbells. That is for reference and for reference only. Just because I'm using 10-pound dumbbells doesn't necessarily mean that you should be using 10-pound dumbbells. You may need something lighter than that. You may need something heavier than that. So that just depends on your strength. It depends on your level of fitness. It depends on what you have available to you, and it depends on how hard you're looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weights and make the decision that is best for you. If you do not have dumbbells, you can absolutely use a kettlebell. A kettlebell will work for this. You'll just have to make like 1 or 2 minor adjustments, but that's easy to do. If you don't have any exercise equipment whatsoever, look for household items that will work. So you could grab a couple of shampoo bottles or water bottles, for example. You could fill them with water, or you might be able to make them a bit heavier if you fill them with something like uncooked rice or dried beans or lentils. kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent. Get creative and just use what you've got, as long as you can find something that you are able to maintain a secure grip on so that you're not going to drop it and hurt yourself, you're not going to break anything and make a mess, and as long as it's not too heavy for you, then any number of household items can work. If you want to take your workout to the beach or to the park or to a hiking trail, maybe you can find a couple of rocks. All right, so again, just get creative and use what's available to you. If you do not have anything that's going to work for weight, or you want to do the more advanced version of the workout, but you just don't want to add weight, that's fine. In that case, what you're going to end up doing is basically the beginner version of the workout, but with all of the most advanced options that I gave you. So if you want kind of an intermediate workout, your 2 exercises are basically going to probably be high knees and then burpees, probably with a push-up from your toes, okay? So maybe just a regular burpee with a push-up from your toes and a jump up, okay? So that can be kind of your intermediate version of the workout if you don't have weights, but you also don't need to keep it no impact and you want it to be a little bit more intense. All right, but what I'm going to be doing for my 2 weighted exercises is basically, again, just marching in place. So driving the knees up towards my chest as high as I can. And as I do that, I'm going to be holding my weights above my head. If holding on to both of your weights at the same time is too heavy, you can hold on to 1 dumbbell like this, or a jug of laundry detergent, or a big bottle of water, or 1 shampoo bottle or 1 water bottle, whatever you're using for weight. I'm going to be holding on to both of my weights. So I'm going to hold my dumbbells together like this. I'm going to hold them up over my head, and I'm going to march, driving those knees up as high as I can towards my chest. All right, so again, pretty much anything will work for weight as long as it's not too heavy for you and as long as you're able to maintain a secure grip on it. Please do not drop a dumbbell or a kettlebell on your head. But obviously a kettlebell will work for this, a medicine ball, a sandbag. So get creative and use what you've got. And if you don't want to add weight, again, you can just march in place or you can do high knees. And then we have espressos. That's my 2nd exercise for my more advanced version of the workout. If you follow my workouts regularly, you know what espressos are. If you do not follow my workouts regularly, they're essentially man makers. So if you know what man makers are, you can just do man makers. These are basically man makers, but they're a little bit different. So let me just show you what it looks like. I'm going to start standing and holding my dumbbells to my sides like this. My palms are facing each other, and they are going to stay facing each other for the entire exercise. Now I'm going to bend down, place my dumbbells flat on the ground in front of me. You can step your feet back 1 at a time if you want. I'm going to jump my feet back at the same time, but that's up to you. Now I'm going to be doing a push-up while holding onto my dumbbells. Then I'm going to do 2 plank rows, 1 on each side. So that just means I'm bending my elbow and rowing the weight up towards my shoulder, first on one side, then on the other side. Make sure you're placing the dumbbell back down with control. Then I'm going to jump my feet back in. You can step your feet in 1 at a time if you prefer. And then I'm going to stand, bringing the dumbbells with me. My palms are still facing each other for a hammer curl and then an overhead press. So for your hammer curl, you're just bending your elbows, curling the weights up towards your shoulders. And for your overhead press, you're straightening the elbow, pressing the weight straight up overhead. Then you're going to reverse the movement, bend your elbow, bring the weights back down to your shoulders. Straighten your elbow and bring the weights back down to your side. Return to your starting position. All right, so let's put one together a little faster. Weights down, jump or step the feet back. Push up, row, row, jump or step the feet back in. Stand, hammer curl, overhead press. That is an espresso. So again, just make sure you're minding your form on the push-ups, head in line with the spine, shoulders away from the ears, abs tight, flat back. So use your ab muscles to lift your hips up high and keep them lifted high. Don't allow your back to arch and don't sink down into your shoulders like this. Don't allow your head to droop down. Okay, head in line with the spine, shoulders away from the ears, flat back. All right, and then make sure that you never break that straight line as you are doing your push-up. If your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, or if you are using household items for weight, like shampoo bottles or water bottles, for example, then I would prefer that you modify this exercise so that you always have at least one hand flat on the floor or the ground for stability. So that modification will look like this. You're going to bend down, place your dumbbells on the ground and let go of them. Place your hands flat on the floor or the ground, right inside your dumbbells. Jump or step the feet back. Do your push-up with both hands flat on the floor or the ground. Then you're going to pick up one hand, leaving the other hand flat on the floor or the ground. Grab a hold of one of your dumbbells, row it up towards your shoulder. So bending the elbow, bringing the weight up towards your shoulder, then control the movement. Set the weight back down, let it go. Place your hand flat on the ground again. Now repeat that on the other side. So picking up the opposite hand, grabbing the dumbbell, rowing the dumbbell. So my opposite hand now is still flat on the ground. Place the dumbbell back down, let it go. Place both hands flat on the ground and then jump or step the feet in. And then from here, it's the same thing. So you can pick up your dumbbells, do your hammer curl and your overhead press. So with your modification for rounded dumbbells or household items, let's put one rep all together. So it's going to look like this. Bend down, place the dumbbells down, let go, hands flat on the ground, jump or step the feet back, push up, row one weight, put it down, let go, row the opposite weight, put it down, let go, hands flat on the ground, jump or step the feet in, pick up the weights as you stand, hammer curl, and overhead press. So that's it, that's all the exercises we're doing today. The format is going to be the same for the beginner version of the workout and for the more advanced version of the workout. And if you're doing that kind of intermediate version, same intervals. So we're just going to be on 10-second intervals. So if you're setting your own timer, you're going to set your timer for one interval. That one interval is going to be 10 seconds, and you're going to set your timer for 30 rounds. So it's 30 10-second intervals. That's 5 minutes. 300 seconds is 5 minutes. All right, so we're just going to go back and forth. With your first 10-second work interval, you're going to do as many marches or high knees as you can. So maximum reps of marches or high knees, whatever you're doing, in 10 seconds. With your next 10-second interval, you're going to do one burpee or one espresso or one man maker, okay? Whatever you're doing for that second exercise, some sort of burpee variation, you're just going to do one rep. And then hopefully you have a few seconds left in that 10-second interval to rest, even if it's just for 1 or 2 or 3 seconds. And you're just going to repeat that a total of 15 times. All right, so you're just going to go back and forth. So 10 seconds to do as many high knees or marches as you can with or without weight, and then 10 seconds to do one burpee. Any burpee variation you want, with or without a push-up, with or without weight. I will be doing espressos, which are essentially man makers. Okay, so we're just gonna do that for 5 minutes and that's it. That's the format. So hopefully that is all clear. Please remember that I do always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video. And of course, I'm going to do both versions of the workout right along with you. So watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format and how it all fits together, how you can customize the exercises, kind of mix and match the different elements to suit your fitness level. If you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, please remember that I am right here to help. So ask questions if you have them. It's really important that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, but also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And you guys know it's also really important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. So I'm always here to help facilitate that. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. Also, I want to remind you, especially if you're going to be working out along with the video, to please make sure that you are going at your own pace. Please make sure you are minding your form. Do not sacrifice your form for speed. And please make sure that you are working to your own level. So choose a set of dumbbells or a kettlebell or household items that are an appropriate weight for you. Drop the added weight if it becomes too taxing. Apply the beginner modifications if necessary. Shorten up your range of motion if necessary. Rest as needed. All right, if you do need to pause and rest, it's a super short workout, so I do want you to push yourself to rest as little as possible. If you do need to rest, you should rest, but challenge yourself to keep the rest breaks as short as you can. But they should be as long as you need. I only want you to resume the workout once you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina so that you can continue with good form. And just please make sure that you are minding your form. I know I said that a few times already, but it's super important. Just don't push your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do, and make sure that you are executing the exercises correctly so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. This workout is super short, so in order for it to be as effective as possible, we want to squeeze in as many reps as we can, but it's always going to be safer and more effective to do fewer reps with excellent form than to speed through and allow your form to get sloppy and do lots and lots of sloppy reps. So please just make the decision that is best for you and do your best. Remember that your best is always good enough, so let your best be good enough. Hopefully I have covered everything. If you're ready to go ahead and begin the workout, we're going to start with a quick 2-minute warm-up, and then we'll get right into the beginner version of the workout. So if you're doing the beginner version of the workout and you do your push-ups from your knees, make sure that you have something soft beneath you. So grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel should be fine. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you probably won't need anything. If you are going to stick around and do the more advanced version of the workout with me, then grab a set of dumbbells if you have them, or maybe a kettlebell. If you don't have any exercise equipment, look for household items that will work. Maybe a couple of water bottles or shampoo bottles filled with some sort of weight. And then pause the video, go get dressed. We'll be right back here. We'll start with our 2-minute warm-up, and then we'll get right into the beginner version of the workout. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 2-minute warm-up. So you're going to begin by just rolling your shoulders either towards the back or towards the front. Whichever direction you choose to roll your shoulders, just make sure that you're exaggerating the movement, really exploring your full range of motion. Make those circles as big as you possibly can. Next, we're going to do some head rolls. So you're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder, then allow your chin to fall towards your chest and towards the opposite shoulder and back. And each time you roll your head from one shoulder to the other, just start to feel your head getting heavier and heavier, allowing your range of motion to increase so that eventually you're just kind of allowing your entire torso to fall in front of you. Now bend the knees, sweep your hands down in front of you, and as you straighten the legs, you're reaching up. Each time you bend your knees, just allow your range of motion to increase, sink a little bit deeper into that squat. And next we're just going to lunge side to side. So feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Just shifting your weight towards one foot at a time. Now adding the arms. So with each lunge, now you're reaching across your body like you're trying to throw your body across the room. Next, we're going to march in place. So you're going to step your feet in. You can start with your knees low since we're just warming up. But gradually, just try to increase your range of motion, driving those knees up a little bit higher and higher towards your chest, until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Getting ready for our beginner version of the workout, where we're going to be doing that exact same exercise, but with a little oblique twist added. Finishing off with a quick hamstring stretch. So I'm using this post to assist me. You want to keep your back as flat as possible in this stretch so that you isolate your hamstrings more effectively. So if you use the wall or a chair or the arm of your couch to assist you, just might make it a little bit more comfortable getting into this stretch, make it a little bit more accessible, make it easier to keep your back nice and flat. But that's it, that's our 2-minute warm up. So let's go ahead and get right into our beginner version of the workout. Make sure you have something soft beneath you if you do push-ups from your knees. And here we go, I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. This is 10 seconds to do as many high knees as you can. So we're just marching in place, driving that knee up as high as you can towards your chest. Now 10 seconds to do 1 burpee. So the push-up is optional. If you don't want to include a push-up, you don't have to. That's fine. Back to high knees. So as you're driving your knees up one at a time towards your chest, you're twisting your body thoracically, bringing your opposite shoulder to meet the knee. Now quickly down onto the mat for another push-up. Calf raise if you can. Remember, if you don't need to keep it impact-free, you can add a little jump instead of doing a calf raise for your burpee. So that would look like this. Knees down for the push-up. Jump or step your feet in and jump up. Also, if you don't need to keep it impact-free, you can do your high knees like this. Obviously, it's going to be a lot more intense. It's also going to be a lot louder. One burpee. Right back to high knees. As many high knees as you can do without sacrificing your form. And now 10 seconds to do one burpee. If it's too difficult to do the calf raise, you can eliminate it. Remember, you can also eliminate the push-up if you want. That's up to you. So if you want to eliminate the push-up, you can just step the feet out, step them right back in and stand. Calf raise if you can. You can also add the jump if you want. Now 10 seconds to do as many high knees as you can. Marching in place to keep it low impact. I know a lot of people have either downstairs neighbors, or maybe you just have bad knees, or maybe you have a sleeping baby in the next room. If you need something low impact, either to take it easy on your knees or so that your workout is quiet, then you're gonna stick with just marching in place with me. And you're gonna stick with stepping your feet out and in for the burpee instead of jumping them out and in. And you'll stick with that calf raise for your burpee instead of jumping. But if you're a little more advanced, you can always do the more advanced versions of the exercises. And if you don't need to keep it impact-free, then you can do your high knees like this. As many reps as you can do in 10 seconds. And you can do your burpee with a push-up from your toes. You can jump the feet out and in, and you can jump up. If not, you're gonna stay right here with me and march in place. Remember to add that little oblique twist. So as you're driving that knee up towards your chest, you're twisting your body thoracically, bringing your opposite elbow to meet your knee. If you cannot actually tap your elbow to your knee, that's fine. Please work to your own level. I don't want you pushing your body into doing anything it's not ready to do, but that's what you're working towards. I'm gonna think of really twisting your body and bringing that knee, that elbow to your knee. One burpee. And back to high knees. As many reps as you can do in 10 seconds without sacrificing your form. One burpee. If you started out doing your burpees with a push-up, but it's getting too difficult, or it's taking too long and you're unable to complete your burpee within that 10-second interval, just eliminate the push-up. And start doing your burpees like this. Step the feet out, step them right back in and stand. Calf raise if you can. If not, you can eliminate it. Then hopefully you'll have a few seconds to rest. But that's it. That's our 5 minutes. We did it. So if you're an absolute beginner and you managed to hang in there with me for the entire 5 minutes and do all those push-ups, amazing job. We are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go, our final burpee of the day, I promise. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So again, you're going to start by standing in the middle of your mat, bend down, place your hands flat on the mat in front of you, step your feet out one at a time so that you're in a plank position. Knees down for a push-up if you're including a push-up. If not, you can eliminate it. Step the feet back in and stand. Raise up onto your toes for a calf raise if you can, and if you want, you can add a little jump. All right, with that, our beginner slash equipment free slash impact free version of the workout is now complete. So if you would like to stick around and try the more advanced version of the workout with me, let's go ahead and get into that right now. Grab a set of dumbbells or a kettlebell or maybe a couple of water bottles or shampoo bottles filled with some sort of weight. And as soon as you're ready, here we go. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. Pick up your weights quickly. Weights up overhead and march. Driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. And now we have 10 seconds to do 1 espresso. So push up on the dumbbells, 2 plank rows, jump or step the feet in, stand, hammer curl, overhead press. Right back into our weighted marches. So holding the weights up overhead, driving your knees up as high as you can. Now weights down, jump or step the feet back, push up, row, row, jump the feet in, stand, hammer curl, overhead press. Back to marches. So we're just going back and forth between these 2 exercises until our 5 minutes is up. 1 espresso. And now march. So I'm holding both of my weights together for my marches. If it's too heavy, holding both of your weights together, you can just hold on to 1 weight. And if even holding on to 1 weight becomes too taxing, just drop the added weight altogether. And you can just do high knees, or you can just march in place without any added weight, that's fine. So as many marches as you can complete in 10 seconds. And then just 1 espresso with that next 10-second work interval. If it's getting too difficult to do the espressos, or it's just not enough time, you can try eliminating 1 or more element from that exercise. So you could eliminate the plank rows. You could eliminate the hammer curl overhead press. you could eliminate the added weight and just do burpees. Remember, any burpee variation you want to do, with or without weight, and with or without a push-up is fine. And that's it. That's our 5 minutes. We did it. Thank God, because these 10-pound dumbbells are starting to feel like they weighed about 50 pounds a piece to me. That was really tough, so nicely done if you managed to hang in there with me for the entire 5 minutes. We are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee, so we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you're ready, here we go, final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. So let's just do a quick cool down together. You just want to keep moving for a couple of minutes while you allow your heart rate to come down, while you allow your breathing to normalize. So you can pace back and forth, you can shake out the legs. Let's do a quick shoulder stretch. So bringing one arm across your body, use the opposite arm to pull it in close to your chest. Make sure your straight arm is completely relaxed. Make sure your shoulder is relaxed. If your shoulder's all tense and hunched up by your ear, you're not going to be able to stretch it effectively. So relax the arm, relax the shoulder, and keep moving. I'm just kind of shifting my weight from foot to foot. You can shake out the legs, you can pace, whatever works for you. Let's do the other side. So bringing the opposite arm across your body, using your other arm to pull it in. Your straight arm is relaxed. Shoulder is relaxed, you're moving, and you're focusing on slowing down your breathing. So think about sending your breath all the way down to your belly button. Breathe all the way down to your belly button. Feel your diaphragm being pulled down as you inhale. Allow your rib cage to expand. And think about filling up your entire torso with air. Then using your diaphragm to control the air as you exhale. Let's do a quick tricep stretch. So bending one elbow. Place your hand on your elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Make sure that the fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. So you do not want this hand hanging out up here somewhere by your shoulder. Point those fingers straight down, gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Feel that nice stretch in your triceps. One more deep breath here. And come out. Shake out the arms. Let's get the triceps on the other side. So bending the other elbow, place your hand on your elbow, gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. Getting that nice stretch in your triceps, continuing to focus on breathing all the way down to your belly button and continuing to move. Shift your weight from foot to foot, shake out the legs, pace, whatever feels good to you. One more deep breath here. And come out. We'll finish with a quick quad stretch. So if you struggle with balance, you can hold onto the wall or a chair or your dining room table or the arm of your couch for support. You're just going to bend one knee, bring your foot behind you, reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand on the same side if you're holding on to something for support. If you're not holding on to anything for support, you can just grab your foot with both hands. Then you're going to press your heel into your booty cheek. Really press it in there, and as you do that, you're tilting your pelvis forward. So think about tucking your booty underneath you. Imagine trying to touch your spine with your belly button. One more deep breath here. Remember, we're focusing on breathing all the way down to the belly button. Slowing down your breathing and come out. Let's do the other side. So bending the opposite knee, bring that foot behind you. If you are holding on to something for support, you're going to reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side. If you're not holding on to anything for support, grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands. Press, press, press that heel into your booty cheek. As you're doing that, you're tilting your pelvis forward. So think about tucking your booty underneath you. Think about sucking your belly button all the way back to your spine. As you're doing that, make sure you're continuing to really press your heel into your booty cheek. As soon as you combine both of those two elements, you're going to feel that stretch intensify in your quad muscles as you isolate them more effectively, but you're also going to feel that stretch extend all the way up to your hip flexors. One more deep breath here. And come out. And one more time, shake out the legs, shake out the wrists, shake out the arms, swing the arms a little bit. And that's it, that's our little cool down. So if you find that your heart rate is still elevated or you're still breathing heavily, that's fine. Just take a couple more minutes to pace around. You can do a little more light stretching, that's a great idea. Just remember that this little bit of light stretching that we do during the cool down does not take the place of a proper stretching routine. It's still really important to make sure that you're taking the time to stretch every day. A good 15 or 20 minutes if you can. If you have time to do it right now, immediately after the workout is always going to be the most effective and the most efficient time to get your stretching done because your muscles are already nice and warm from the workout. But if you don't have time to stretch right now, that's fine. As long as you get your stretching done at some point during the day, that's what matters. Just remember that if you do put off your stretching until later on in the day, that your muscles will have gotten cold again. So you're going to need to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you begin stretching. You never want to jump into your stretching routine with cold muscles because your muscles need to be warm in order for them to be pliable so that you can stretch them safely and effectively. But it's really important to make sure that you're taking the time to stretch every day because it's going to help alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing after the workout. And it's also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward. And of course, it's going to improve your flexibility. So please make sure you're taking the time to stretch every day, but please make sure that you are doing so safely. But that's it. That is all I have for you guys today. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did this little 5-minute workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you so much to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything was unclear with the format of today's workout and how everything fits together, if you have questions about any of the exercises that we were doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with modifications, please just ask. I am more than happy to help with that. If you enjoy these little 5-minute workouts and you would like to see more of them, please remember that I have an entire playlist of 5-minute workouts on my channel. I will link it right there, and we will be continuing to do these 5-minute Fridays every week for the foreseeable future. So that means that I will be continuing to bring you at least one new 5-minute workout a week every week for the foreseeable future. That is going to do it for today. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and I will see you all right back here on Monday. Bye.